Can you share with maybe the audience on how you navigate that very dicey process of bringing people along when there's rules that change?
The first thing that came to mind is like a buffalo, right? I don't know the origin of the storytelling of it, but basically buffalo on the plane engage storms head on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They understand that if a storm is coming this direction and I'm going this direction, I'll get through it faster and be done. That's our general mindset about life and things of that nature. It just is what it is. We're very open and honest up front with our franchisees about our current capabilities, our desired capabilities, what we can bring to the table, and how we view progress and maturity. So when it comes, they're like, "Yep, you told me." All right. I get it. We'll have some massaging. I'll have to change a couple things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But because the entire development of the process was so transparent and upfront, they've seen every nuance of the build of the thing. And it has some costs to it. There's some, oh, you guys talked about this a little bit ago. We went a different direction. Okay, cool. I get it. Like they know we're always trying to earn our royalty. And so I feel that that's our job, is to never have them ask, why am I paying a royalty to you guys?
Sure.
And if we do that, then as we make changes and as we develop different systems or update processes, they see value in that because we're still out front. We're still chasing other revenue streams or products or technology or partnerships, whatever. And so there is hey guys, here's this new refinement. Right on. Thanks. I
Uh-huh.
appreciate it. That's progress. We've never lost their trust. And so when we make changes, they believe that it's in their best interest because we've not, I think we've been transparent in our effort the entire time. And so there's no suspicion of maligned intent or anything else floating around.
Sure. Well, Chris, it sounds like to me you guys have taken the time to communicate things, and franchise owners, like anybody, they don't like surprises. And by you getting ahead of it helps. I want to go back to something you glossed over. You mentioned firefighter and
Yeah.
your firefighting career. How have you taken that career and somehow weaved it in to Bloomin Blinds?
It's the outline that it becomes such a lifestyle, a part of a mindset approach to where you sit in a restaurant, to how you drive your car on the road, to how you assess an intersection as you come through it. Everything becomes a input that you can do something with, whether you're in the home on a medical assessment or approaching the scene of an accident and it's the windshield size up. There's information, and that the training teaches you how to process information and prioritize it. This is important, this is not. It becomes so ingrained in you that you can't separate it. For 24 hours, you're in uniform, on duty. You may be sleeping, but you're switched on the entire time. So you're constantly taking in information. And so it becomes such an ingrained part of you that, bluntly, I don't know another way. So when we scaled our team and brought in ops team and customer care center, call center, if you will, in-house, and we went from 3 people on October 17th to 16 staff members on October 18th, I had to basically insert overnight a management practice system, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And my only frame of reference in people management came from a public safety sector. I figured if it mattered, if the training style and methodology was specifically designed to teach people skills, physical skills that are necessary to potentially save lives or property, why can't that just be parlayed into window coverings? And so that made it wasn't to transition. I just changed topics.
Right.
But how we create training content, course objective, resources necessary, the props, that's how you build a roof prop simulation for ventilating a roof on a structure fire. It's the same points
Mm-hmm.
are there. A firehouse, the management of a firehouse and the people and personalities, right? You've got all 6 to 8 personalities from varying backgrounds that are all focused on the same tasks for somebody else with limited information. I mean, that is a blind appointment, right? We have
Mm-hmm.
dispatch in office as the call center.
Right.
We have the kitchen table, which we all eat together at. We've got varied personalities focused on a single task for somebody else. At the end of the day, our job, our function, if you will, in our office is knowledge transfer.
Hmm.
That's all, whether it's business operations, window covering, motorization programming, knowledge from a strategic partnership that we align. We're a conduit, and our job is to be a very efficient conduit from knowledge of one point to another, and vice versa. And as long as we are not a bottleneck for that, people value us in that position. And that's much like firefighting. I was the officer of the station. I'm a conduit from up high and down low in both directions. And so the similarities almost directly overlap in the kind of viewpoint and focus. And a lot of people like scoff at it, like, oh, firefighting is so important. It's a job. It's a
Hmm.
very rewarding, necessary, fulfilling job, but it's a job. This is a job. Like, you can use the same mindsets. If they're important there, they can be important here to the same outcome. So
Sure.
yeah, it was
Well,
kind of
let's
my
see
own
it.
little
Chris,
firehouse.
let's show the audience what your training center looks like and how
So,
you've applied the firefighting career to
so
Bloomin
as
Blinds.
if it were a roof simulation prop, we have functional scale props with technological broadcast capability. See kind of the culinary school monitor. That's a training class. You've got 3 owners down there and a technician training currently.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just as if we were building a roof simulator at the firehouse. It's got to be to scale. It's got to have function. It's got to have no distraction from the task. So there's no paint on the props. So we're not concerned about scratching things. I want sole focus on the task at hand. So everything down there was designed and conceived to eliminate distraction.
Hmm.
So what we do here is this is job training. We got them for 2 weeks. We have to teach you a skill. In 2 weeks, I need you to go from zero to hero in 90 hours to be able to stand in your home and confidently offer our services, not
Hmm.
product, services. Our first product is an emotion. I leave your home with money, but the for transaction is an emotion because I don't have a product left behind for 2 weeks. So there's the reality that how you do that to then deliver the product is a very nuanced thing, and I think that's where we shine as a brand in a space shared by others. Is a completely different approach to the thing,
Hmm.
and that excitement and kind of the feeling left with the consumer is not of regret and wonder if it was a good deal. It's excitement and telling their girlfriends and their husbands' friends how excited they are. In 2 weeks, they're going to get what they paid for.
Hmm. And Chris, tell me what if there was somebody who was listening that might be a potential franchisee, what makes your brand different and what you do or why you do what you do?
Yeah, one of the biggest differentiator for us is the repair space and how we view that repair. We were the first national brand to offer repairs in home. There are others, and flattery's the or imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Sure, I'll take it. But we started that, and I think that changes the way we speak and educate the customer on the product. We come at it from a how does it function first standpoint, and it has to meet the performance needs of the consumer. And if that performance need is simply design or texture, we can do that too. But if it's light control, I absolutely have a product that is better served for light control. If it's privacy, I have a product that's great for privacy. I have one that doesn't do so great for privacy. And it's our job, it's the franchise business owner's job in the home to help educate that customer in that decision making tree, if you will. So when they make that decision for 2 weeks, they know exactly what they're going to get, and then it shows up exactly like we told them it would, does exactly what it said, and there's consistency in that for the same price, right? That from start to finish, we never have to remember what we said because there's no lies, there's no salesmanship. It's data points
Hmm.
of this one performs 2 points better than this one. Like, here it is on paper, and then we show them that it's again, to the firefighting, it's the idea of an informed patient, right? In medicine or EMS, when
Hmm.
we have a patient on the ground, we need to deliver interventions to life saving or whatever is necessary on them. It's our duty as EMS providers to make them an informed patient, which means the benefits and risks of the medicine we're going to administer, if it's going which route, and potential side effects of that. We do the exact same thing in our training here. This is customer, we
Hmm.
call Mrs. Smith. I need to make you an informed buyer, an informed consumer. I need to show you the benefits and risks of this product and as it applies to your application. I need to show you what it's going to cost, how it's going to come, what it's going to look like. And we could do all that with technology, with augmented reality visualizers and all sorts of advanced technologies that our industry is yet to really adopt. And we're kind of putting those at the forefront. So we take this very analog idea of repair and fixing and kind of, hang on a second, let me take that apart and give it a look. Mm-hmm. And layer that with the care and compassion that somebody that actually cares how your life's going to be affected by what they do to, for, or with you. And then the knowledge and capability of an advanced level understanding of technological systems and things like that. And now you have a mechanic that came out from under a car in a suit with clean fingers that says, hang on, I can sell you a car. Let me tell you about this one. And you know he's an expert because he fixes them all day long.
Right. So you're looking for people, they're conscientious, they're empathetic people, they know that obviously they're going to somebody's home, but they very much are relationship people.
Yep. Very value-minded.
Value-minded. So who is your ideal franchise owner? Is there a particular background that has been sort of a common thread among your franchise owners?
We've had everyone that owned a flour mill manager to special operations veteran to police, fire, accounting. I think the crux of it is somebody who's considerate, somebody who can be considerate of others and actually integrate a response into a problem-solving equation, because it's what we're solving, functional problems in the home, and consider downstream impacts, right? So the analytical process, being able to think about and what if, but not get stuck into it. So being able to quickly, and I say consider it, not just from the compassionate side of it, but from the analytical side of consideration. Like we just use discretion in the fire department. Discretion can go a bunch of different ways, from privacy to decision-making. And so it's kind of the consideration goes into that. It's being able to, quick thinking, analytical, very relational. Like to say, if you can't hold a conversation with a stranger at the checkout line at the supermarket and it be pleasant, this may not be the right franchise for you. And you have to be able to communicate. You can't communicate, I wish you well in whatever endeavor it will be, but this needs the ability to communicate that consideration, technical data, being able to clearly explain well understood concepts that are otherwise technologically unreachable for a layman.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.